in right now, Wyoming, at the Walmart parking lot. I'm sure a lot of people have stayed here before.
If not, it's a great little place to stay.
Good place to park, because Walmart's 24 hours if you need a bathroom, and of course there's food. So
you can pick up a few supplies.
yep. We did a little shopping last night. We're just heading out right now. See, nice and snow covered. Actually, nice weather right now though. No wind.
Yeah, which is amazing for Wyoming.
Yeah, for Wyoming.
So super snowy.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, the whole parking lot is covered in ice. So, what was that one pickup doing donuts around in it last night? It was funny.
That's early. So
we're gonna hop on the 80 eastbound. Gonna try and make it to Grand Island, Nebraska today. Maybe go to the Balsam. It's over 700 miles. But
there's two of us.
There's two of us. We can always run together. If I can't finish up the shift, Selena will. And then tomorrow we got a little under 500 miles to go from there to get to Springfield, Missouri.
Our first drop.
First drop on this 4-drop saga. We got a drop in Springfield, then we got to go to Atlanta, do 2 drops, one in Atlanta and one in Forest Park. And then we got to go to Ellery, South Carolina for the final drop, and then see what's up after that. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good thing we're slipping right between storms. Tomorrow there's a storm coming in. We'll be moving across the northwest and into Wyoming and stuff, so everybody's bracing for that right now. We'll be long gone. We'll be in Missouri.
Yeah, the other one's already passed, so.
Yeah, we slipped right between them. That's how you run it. Hell yeah. Well, we kind of lucked out.
Yeah.
But the roads are all cleared. I think even Elk Mountain doesn't have anything going on, so all good.
All good.
Yeah, it's way too dark on camera.
Yeah.
So we'll check back.
Yep.
See what this thing has to say. Ooh, black ice. Reduce speed. No. What's about that? Okay, so we're just getting into the beginning of where the ice started up. We're just east of Wamsutter, Wyoming, heading for Rawlins. You can see ice starting to pack up a little bit on the road. It's around freezing at this point. You can feel the rigidity of the ice on the road. It's a little bit of a rough ride. I'm hanging in the left lane right now. It seemed a little bit more sturdy than the right-hand lane. Not as ice covered for the most part, so I'm just keeping my speed probably about 45 miles an hour right here. Everybody else is going a little bit slower. It looked like a lot of, say Swift trucks, CRST, stuff like that. A lot of guys were running with their flashers on. They seemed a little bit more nervous. As long as you don't use your cruise control, Jake brake, and when you do come up on patches of ice and stuff like that, you just not trying to throw any gears, not accelerating, because that can cause slippage, of course. You can lose traction and spin out. So let's get on with the drive here for a minute, and we'll come back when it gets a little bit better. So you can see as I'm coming up on this guy, he was just hanging in the left lane but going probably about 30 miles an hour. That's a dangerous thing too, for him to be sitting there like that, because you're making people switch lanes. It becomes a problem, just gets a little bit more unsafe. I immediately moved back over in the left lane after I got around him, and as you can see, the ice on the right side was a little bit worse. You got some blowing snow going, of course. That can cause problems with the visibility. You might lose sight of the road a little bit when the snow gets heavy enough blowing across the road. So I would say anybody, don't just drive in the left-hand lane, especially if you're going slow and being passed. Get back over. It's the safest route. So we're going to continue on here though. You can see you got a little blown snow. We're not totally ice covered yet. As it goes along, you'll see we get into some much heavier ice on the road. We did have some spin outs that we came across, stuff like that, so we'll get onto that. Alright, so we've entered a portion of the road that is totally covered in ice. This ice is probably about 1 inch thick. It was pretty rough. At this point, it's good to keep in mind, again, I don't use cruise control, no Jake brake during these periods. And especially when you're directly on a big patch of ice like that, do not use your throttle much. You just kind of float across it, keep your wheel straight. Don't make any excessive maneuvers or anything like that, because it is very easy at this point, the high risk of spinning out, and you don't want to be that guy in the ditch. But you can see it's pretty well covered up. You do get a few open spots there, but even then, especially if the temperature was far lower, you might even just have black ice. The temperature was around freezing here. It didn't look like it was too bad, but again, I'm just rolling over it about 45 miles an hour. You can see trucks, I'm coming up on trucks. They're going a little bit slower and stuff. Maybe they just aren't as comfortable with it. And, I feel comfortable driving in snow and ice. It never really bothers me too much. I don't feel nervous about it. So I kind of keep moving and just know that I don't gouge my throttle. I don't do anything crazy. Some guys come out here and they start driving around kind of wacky and think, oh, it's fine, I'll just go in. Well, those are the dudes you see in the ditch. Always remember that. So anyway, when you come out here on roads like this, you just take it easy, take your time. You see I've eased off here. There's trucks up ahead of me and stuff, so
I'm just taking it slow. I've eased off at this point, not touching my brakes much, just letting the engine wind down. Just keep moving along. I leave good space and stuff as long as everybody's out of the lane. I keep moving and keep adequate space though in case somebody jumps in front of me. But for the most part, people get their speed and they hold it. And I just keep kind of cruising on along. I don't want to be hanging out in the pack, because if somebody does spin out, then you're going to be caught up in a chain reaction. You don't want any part of that. So I try to stay away from everybody and just keep my own clip and just keep moving. I don't want to be in the fray of it. So you can see though, there's a pack of trucks coming up right there. You know, they're moving slower, which is fine. If you don't feel comfortable going faster, take your time. You know, there's no big deal as long as you get there. But again, I felt comfortable. I had no wheel spin. I had no, you know, anything weird happening. So I just kind of kept on moving and just take it safe. Okay, so coming into this portion of the drive, the ice got really thick. We're talking, I was figuring about 2 inches. It was glassed up. It was very rough ride. This is where you get into the really unsafe part. You got a totally ice-covered road with thick ice. It's slick. You have a high risk of spin out at this point. That's where you hit these big patches. I had a really long one here that went on for a bit. I was totally off my throttle. You can see the truck shaking around, stuff like that. It even caught me a little bit, you know, I was making, you know, I guess you call it getting, you know, your ass eating the seat a little bit. That, you know, I'm glad no other trucks were around me, stuff like that, because you can just see the truck shaking around like crazy. It was just like potholes all the way through this, and I had no throttle, no jake brake, no cruise control, of course. Just taking my time, keeping the wheel straight, just drive right over it. Don't punch your throttle any, you know, because again, you're in a position right here where the high risk of spin out. So you just got to kind of coast over it, get to the next, you know, easy area where you get a little cleared up and you can feel comfortable getting a little traction again. But yeah, that's probably the most dangerous spot right there. You want to be very careful of that. And here, of course, two guys spun out. Probably going a little too fast for conditions, made some erratic maneuvers, and off they went. And if you saw earlier in the video too, there was traffic that was backed up heavily on the other side of the freeway. That's probably somebody making you know, a rash maneuver, and they ended up locking up traffic, and that becomes very dangerous too. Like I said, you want to stay out of the mix, you want to stay out of the fray if you can, because once somebody hits their brakes and somebody's following too close, there's the high danger that your brakes are going to lock up, you're going to slide and cause a big wreck. So traffic piles up, everybody can't get stopped in time, and you know, it just becomes a very dangerous mess. So like I said, right about here though, we're getting past the worst part of it, and it starts clearing up as we get to Rollins. Storm had blown through a night or two before, and the roads actually got shut down. This whole area out here, I'm surprised they didn't have it cleaned up a little bit better. But with all the thick ice that they weren't out there dropping a lot of salt brine and getting the grinders out there and getting that ice off the road. But you know, that's Wyoming. It's pretty much standard procedure, you know, throughout the whole winter. You're going to find the roads like this in a lot of patches. So best thing, be safe, just take it easy, no cruise control, no jake brake, and take it easy on the throttle, and just keep that wheel straight whenever you hit patches like that. It's the safest bet. And of course, if you ever totally feel unsafe about it, you're just not comfortable with it, maybe it's best to even get off the road for a while, you know, gather yourself and then go back after it. But this is pretty much the experience you're going to have in Wyoming in the winter. It's a common thing that happens, you know, it's nothing to be totally scared of. When the roads get too bad though, yeah, it's just best to get off the road sometimes too. So, hope you enjoyed it. You get my cheese whiz, boy?
My cheese whiz, boy.
Right? Well, it was dark, but still kind of ruled. Look at you, super trucker.
Grindy.
So we're at the Bosselman Pilot in Grand Island, Nebraska. We switched out a while back. Somebody got to drive today. Actually, I'm doing a roll and restart, so she gets to drive tomorrow too. All day. Yay. It's a Sunday night, the 20th.
Yes.
Yeah, we just put up the Ginseng Energy video today. Promotional for our friends over there at Ginseng Energy.
Yep.
You can probably just shoot straight down if you want to see about some other angled spots. But
I was looking like that aisle. These are all the other ones.
yeah, we can come back around. Don't hit your fellow trucker. Go ahead, buddy. Yeah, run for it. Like Iron Maiden song, Run to the Hills. This one's like, run to the grills.
You want me to go that way? Or
Yeah, everything looks pretty much full up over there.
there?
Yeah, go around the backside there. We'll work it out. Work some out. Ooh, you could even back it in tonight. You're all, it's highly questionable. You're gonna take the cheap way out, huh? Somebody don't want to back in, huh? Oh, there's some right there too. Oh, I guess it is kind of empty in here tonight. Somebody took the easy way out. Or we could even pull straight through this one. We got better tilt. For the sleeping arrangement. I'll get right up on that curve. Yeah, buddy. Curb job? Curb job?
Yeah. Dang it.
Just pull it on through and straighten it out a little bit. What a rookie. Along the line there, right? What a pro.
Sort of. Move the camera.
Don't move the camera, I
I
can't
need the
see.
mirror. Move the camera.
Just for that, you get tickled again.
Big shot.
Beauty. So yeah, Balsam and Pilot.
Yeah.
How did it feel to drive today?
It was so exhausting.
Are you super tired now?
90 miles was just too much.
You look forward to your 500 miles tomorrow?
Oh yeah.
Think you can handle it?
Yeah.
You gonna be alright? You gonna pull through?
Yeah.
Meow, meow, I guess. Yeah. Good stuff. So tonight to Grand Island, Nebraska. Tomorrow, Grand Island, Nebraska to
Springfield, Missouri.
Yep, where we do our first drop
Yep.
on Tuesday morning.
Yep.
Then Tuesday we
haul butt over to Atlanta.
Yeah, we got to haul balls over to Atlanta after that. It's like 600 and some odd miles. Get over somewhere around Atlanta
To drop the next morning.
to drop the next morning in Atlanta and then out in Forest Park. And then we got to do a slow drag over to Ellery, South Carolina to do our final drop on Thursday.
Yeah.
So Thursday morning we'll be freed up from that one, and Thursday, Friday hopefully have another load or something. Some. Yeah, we get another load stuffed in before the week is up. Could be a decent week.
Yep.
Will was even saying he was, I think, being overly optimistic, but
Yeah.
because because it would take a long load to make decent money out of it.
Yeah.
But he's saying Thursday, Friday, if we could hook up another load, he's like, hey man, 10, 12K this week could be potentially doable. And I was like, anything off the East Coast right now is super cheap though, so I don't know about
Yeah, they're
that.
talking like $3,500 coast to coast.
Yeah,
It's like
Kinda.
$1 a mile.
yeah, kind of crappy.
Don't haul cheap freight. Don't do it. Ruins it for the rest of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll in tonight's video.
Yeah.
Right here.
Right here.
In beautiful Nebraska.
So, and hopefully, I'm gonna try something out tomorrow, so we'll see how it works out. I was telling you about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
So tomorrow, everybody gets to see Selena start her day off fresh.
Yeah.
Whole day of driving down to Missouri.
I'm gonna try to not be a deer in the headlights when I turn on the camera. We should make it like a little compilation of my mess ups, you know, at the end.
Yeah.
And me trying to do it.
Me scaring you and your mess ups.
Yeah, my mess ups, yeah.
And me tickling you. Those are always good.
Yeah.
All right, so from Grand Island.
Yep. Out.
With turquoise and real diamonds.